Guys, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about authors. And I've been doing a couple videos recently about authors that I have read and want to read more from. Like I want to start working on some of their backlist. I talked about authors that I haven't read yet, but I've collected multiple of their books, but I haven't read them. What am I doing? And it kind of got me thinking about some of my favorite authors and how much have I actually read from them? Have I read enough to consider them my favorite authors, or am I a fake fan? Do I say that they're my favorite authors, but I haven't read that much? So like, can I say that? Can I even say that? So we are going to talk about some of those authors today. We're going to go through their backlist together because I haven't done any research on this. So some of them I kind of know, some of them I don't. But we're going to see how many books I have read by these authors versus how many I haven't, and see if I can call myself a fan or not. And some of these authors are authors that have been featured on today's sponsor, which is Book of the Month. So Book of the Month is a monthly subscription service where you can pick from anywhere between 5 to 7 books that have been curated by the Book of the Month team. They have picked some of the books that they wanted to share with the world that they think are just fantastic, and you get your pick every month of which one you want to receive, and they come at a discount. They are always hardcover, and they are just fantastic. There's multiple genres. There's a whole bunch of different authors, both seasoned and debut. So you're going to get something from everybody. There's something for everybody on Book of the Month for sure. And I'm going to show you some of the options that are available for the month of June. And let me tell you, this is a good box, you guys. And Book of the Month also just started a podcast called Virtual Book Tour that just launched recently. They have 3 episodes out. I just listened to the episode where they interviewed Isabel Cañas, who is the author of The Hacienda, which was an option last month. And it was really good. So I love listening to authors talk about their work and their process and all that stuff. So if you guys have not checked out the Book of the Month podcast yet, definitely do that. I will have a link down below for where you can access that, but definitely check that out. I have 5 of the options that are options for the month of June to show you really quickly. This first one is The Lifestyle. This is by Taylor Hahn, and this one follows a couple who are married. However, I believe the husband ends up having an affair, and his wife catches him. And so instead of leaving him or trying to figure out how to make this work or whatever, they decide as a couple to become swingers. And they bring in another couple that is a friend of theirs. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. I would read about that. Let's see where this story goes. What could go wrong? This next one, you guys, I was so excited to see that this was an option. Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Jennifer Hillier is an author that I have not read yet. However, I have started this book. So this will be my first one from her, but I'm so excited to read her because I feel like she's going to be an author for me for sure. This follows a woman whose husband ends up dead, murdered, and she comes into consciousness in the bathroom where he is in the bathtub covered in blood, and she is holding a weapon. She does not remember what happened. So it's going to follow all this. He is also a very prominent person. And so I think he's famous. And so she is going to be very publicly, scrutinized and stuff as the obvious suspect in this murder. And however, she is also trying to hide from her past because some stuff has happened in her past that she doesn't want chasing her. But when this becomes so public, what do you think is going to happen? So very excited that Jennifer Hillier is part of Book of the Month this month, and very excited to continue reading this one. Okay, this next one, you guys, I've heard about this, and I was so excited to see it in the box as well. This is a fantasy book. This is called The Stardust Thief. This is by Chelsea Abdullah, and this is book 1 in the Sandsea trilogy. So this is going to end up being a trilogy, and this is book 1 just coming out. And this one follows our main character, who is a midnight merchant, is what she is called. And she actually hunts and sells illegal magic. Illegal magic, you guys. Really, really cool. I love the premise of that. And she ends up being forced into finding this artifact that is considered something that is priceless and that can actually cause harm to a lot of people. And the Sultan of this Empire wants to have this thing. So he hires her in order to retrieve it for him. And she has to team up with a bunch of people and do all these things. And as they're going along, things are kind of unraveling that like maybe not everything is as it seems, but fantasy, very excited to see like a high fantasy book as an option this month. I love that. Okay, this next one is called Woman of Light. This is by Callie Fajardo Anstein. I hope I said that correctly. Sorry if I did not. This one follows a multi-generation family that starts out in the 1930s, and you are following our main character here who is pretty much running for her life. Her and her family are indigenous, and they are being run out of town by some people. And you kind of follow her as she is getting visions from people in her past and family members from her past. She's getting these visions of what they went through and how they survived and did all that stuff. So I think she's taking some of those visions that she's having to use to her advantage to what she's currently experiencing and doing all that stuff. So yeah, there's that one. Okay, and this last one I have to show you, I'm also very, very excited about, and that is The Lies I Tell. This is by Julie Clark. And this one follows a woman who is basically a con artist, and she is in different places and she's playing different roles. People can hire her to con people out of other things and all that kind of stuff. And it also follows another woman who was one of her victims, and she has been waiting a very long time to catch this woman and to take her down because she pretty much upended her life. And things start coming together because they actually start getting to know each other. And so a lot of things start being questioned. But yeah, I'm super excited for this one too. And as always, it comes with a bookmark. This month says, "You'll never guess what happens next." So huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. You guys, if you want to get your very first box from Book of the Month, if you are not a member and you have never ordered from Book of the Month, you can get your first box and your first book for $9.99. That is a huge deal. And you can pick from any one of their books in their inventory. It doesn't have to be one of the ones for June. Although if you want one of the ones for June, these are really good picks. This is a really great month. But you can pick from their backlist as well. So it's all on the website. But your first order will be $9.99 with the discount code that I have right down here. So you guys can go and use that. Make sure you use it at checkout. Make sure you use the link down below that I have for you, and get your first box for a fantastic deal. So highly recommend Book of the Month. I've been using them for a long time. I love them, and huge thanks for the sponsorship this month. And now we are going to talk about some of my authors that I call myself a fan. So let's see if I need to call myself out. So I just sat down and I made a list of all the authors that I would consider favorites, and thought it would be fun to actually look up these authors, look up their work, and see how many I've read, how many I still need to read, and kind of see if I really am a fan of them or not. If I read enough to say that. Okay, so the website that I use is called fantasticfiction.com. This is a site where you can look up authors, and they will have their own page, and it will literally list all of their works in publication order. If they have series, the series are in order. So it's a website that I reference frequently, quite a bit, if I want to look up some of my favorite authors and see what they've written, or if I'm looking for an order of a series, or, whatever it is. So we're going to use that site today. So I'm on the main page here. Now, my first author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I have definitely read her most recent works with Evelyn Hugo. Anything from Evelyn Hugo on, I have read. Backlist, different story. So let's see what I read versus what I need to read. So it'll say right here, it'll have a little bit of a profile and new books. So this is upcoming books or most recently released. And then that has novels, because she only writes novels. She doesn't write any series. So, okay. So Forever Interrupted, I have not read it, but I do own it. After I Do, I have not read it, but I do own it. Maybe in Another Life, I have not read, but I do own it. One True Loves, I just read it. So there's one for that. Evelyn Hugo, I have read that. Daisy Jones, yes. Malibu Rising, yes. And Carrie Soto's is coming out later this year, and I will be buying that. I'm very excited about that one too. So I have 3 books to read from her backlist still, and I will read Carrie Soto's back when that comes out. And then I have read 4 of her books. So I think that's pretty good. Oh, and the novella, Evidence of the Affair, I did read that as well. So that one counts too. So technically, I guess I have read 5, if you include that novella. 2, 3, yep, 4, 5. And then I still need to read 3. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I read 5. Need to read 3 still. So I'm going to say yes, I'm a Taylor Jenkins Reid fan. And I've given all of her books that I read 5 stars. Every single one. All of them. Okay, now let's do Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren, which is a writing duo. They are best friends who write together. Okay. They have a lot. So we have the Beautiful Bastard series, as you can see. I have read, including the novellas as well. I have read the first 2 novels of them, plus the novellas. So I have not read any of the Wild Seasons series at all. And then let's get into the novels. Okay, so I've read 2 in the series. Sublime, I've actually never heard of that. What is that? So I have not read that. The House, I have not read. I do have it on my shelves though. Dating You, Hating You, haven't read it. I have it on my shelves. Autobiography, yes, I loved that book. Roomies, nope, but I have it. Love and Other Words, one of my favorite books. Loved it. Josh and Hazel, I have it, but I haven't read it. Favorite Nightstand, have it, but I haven't read it. The Honeymooners, I loved so much. So that's another one. Twice in a Blue Moon, I haven't read it. Honey, Don't List, I did read that one. I did not keep it on my shelves because I didn't love it, but I did read it. In a Holidays, I did read. The Soulmate Equation, I have it, but haven't read it. And then Something Wilder, I do not own that one yet. It's on my wish list. So I don't have that one yet. So I've read 7 of their books. And how many do we have? I'm going to include the series that I haven't read yet. So I'm only going to include the main books. I'm not going to worry about the novellas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so I've read 6, have not read 16. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. So am I a fan? I need to read more. I need to read more. I can say, I think reading 6 books, I think from one author, you can say that you're a fan because you're just continuing. And I have so many of the other ones. I don't have all of them, but I think it's safe to say I am a fan for sure. But I do have a lot more to read. And a lot of it is because like there's some series and stuff I need to, either finish up or get started on. So I'm going to say yes, a soft yes. All right, next is Brandon Sanderson, guys. This one is going to be embarrassing because I am pretty sure I am not going to be able to say that I'm a fan, even though I consider him a favorite author. I just have a feeling. Okay, so Brandon Sanderson writes fantasy. So there's some new books. Okay. All right, so we're getting into right here. All right, he writes a lot of series. There's not a whole lot of standalones here. So Elantris, I have it. I own it. I have not read it. I don't have the second one either. I didn't know that there was a second one in the Atlantis. So I'll have to look that up. So no on those. Okay, so Mistborn, The Final Empire, I did read. Not the rest of them. Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, nope. Okay, so Wheel of Time, he wrote for Robert Jordan. After Robert Jordan passed away, he finished off that series. So that's a little interesting to include that, but I have not read the Wheel of Time series at all. So Stormlight Archive, nope. Infinity Blade, I have not heard of that. Awakening and Redemption, I've never heard of that, so I don't know about that. Wow. Yeah, I'm losing this one. Legion, nope. The Reckoners. I read Steelheart. I did read that, and I do have the other two. Just haven't read them. The Arithmetist I own, but I haven't read. Cosmere. Nope. I have Skyward, but I haven't read it yet. I don't have the other ones. And then that's like serialization is different. It's part of the Stormlight Archive. So, and then these are novellas, part of the Skyward thing. I did read Warbreaker. Yeah. And that's it. So as you can see, he has written a lot. Let me do a final count here real quick. So there's like 40 things on here, you guys, and I've read 3. So I'm going to lose the Brandon Sanderson argument on whether I'm a fake fan. I'm totally a fake fan. Dang it. This one I'm going to lose too, you guys. I know for sure you're probably screaming at me as I type this in. Don't scream at me. It's fine. Let's talk about John Gwynne. Let's talk about his epic picture. Oh, with his dogs and his axe. Oh, I love it. Okay, John Gwynne writes fantasy as well. Okay, he writes the Faithful and the Fallen series. So he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. I've read 1. I read Malice. I read the first book in the Faithful and Fallen series, and that's it. I own the entire series, and I own the Bloodsworn series, the first 2 that are in that. I do not have the Blood and Bone series yet, but I definitely want them. I read 1, and I want to reread it and like read that whole series kind of back to back if I can. I read 1, so nope. I lose that one too. Okay, this one I think I'm going to win. Colleen Hoover. She's an auto-buy author for me. If she publishes a book, I buy it. So let's see how many I've read. Okay, there's the new books. Okay, so series. Actually, Slammed I have not read. That's one that I have not read. And I don't own those either. Okay, I read Hopeless. I do not want to read the others in that series though. So I read Hopeless and I'm good. I don't feel like I need to read anymore. Maybe someday. I own it. Haven't read it yet. Never Never. I own it. Haven't read it yet. It Ends with S. I read. That's my favorite one. It Starts with S. I've pre-ordered. That one comes out later this year. Okay, so I'm at 2. So Ugly Love. Yes. Confess, yes. November 9, yes. Too Late, yes. Without Merit, yes. All Your Perfects, yes. Verity, just read that, loved it. Regretting You, yes. Heartbones, yes. Layla, I have, but I haven't read it yet. And Reminders of Him, yes. So I have, let's see, total count. We'll just include everything because even if I don't plan on reading it, it's fine. So 3, 7, 8, 9. I don't count novellas. 8, 9. Never Never. There's a part 1, 2, and 3, but it's also a combined book. So I make that one. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So out of 22 books, I have read, how many? I've read 12. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. There's some like, I may pick up Slammed. I don't know if I'll need to read the whole series or not. Maybe I could just for fun. And like, again, with Hopeless, I don't feel like I need to go back and read anymore from that. I think Hopeless was good enough for me. So I don't plan to like read absolutely everything. All her standalones, definitely. And I own all of them. The only one I don't have yet is It Starts With Us, but I have it pre-ordered. And yeah, so I think that's a pretty good average. Okay, this one I think I'm going to win too. Let's talk about Riley Sager. I do like Riley Sager. Okay, so I do not have his new book yet, The House Across the Lake. It's on my list to pick up at some point this year. So his novels, Final Girls, yes. The Last Time I Lied, yes. Lock Every Door, yes. Home Before Dark, yes. My favorite. I have not read Survive the Night, but I do have it. And then House Across the Lake, I don't have it yet, but I will get it at some point and read that one too. So if you include the new one that is just about to come out this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've read 4 of the 6. So I think definitely I can call myself a Riley Sager fan. Okay, this one might be interesting. Let's talk about Claire Legrand. She is another one that is an auto-by-author for me. I really like her books that I've read so far. I'm just not sure how many I've actually read. Okay, so new books there. Okay, so Winter Spell. I do have Winter Spell on my shelf downstairs. I haven't read it yet, but I do have that one. Foxheart I have read. Thornlight I have not read, but we do have it. My daughter actually has it. The Imperium Trilogy, I read all 3 of those, so that's 5. And then novels. Okay, The Cavendish Boys the Cavendish, wow. Okay, The Cavendish Home for Boys and Girls, I own it, haven't read it yet. Year of Shadows, own it, haven't read it yet. Some Kind of Happiness, own it, haven't read it yet. Salt Hill Girls was so good. I love that book, so I have read that one, so that's 6. And then Ecstasia, which is her newest release, I do not own yet. It's on my wish list. I have not read that yet, and I don't own it yet. So 6 out of 11. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay, this one's gonna take a lot of counting, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But let's talk about Jodi Picot. All right, I have long said that Jodi Picot is my favorite author of all time. It just takes me a long time to get to her books because they are always so heavy and they are always going to make me think, and I have to kind of be prepared for something like that. So I don't read her super often. Actually, it's been a really long time since I've read a Jodi Picot. I probably need to fix that. Okay, so this is going to be a lot. Okay, so Between the Lines, I am not interested in reading that one. Yeah. Okay. Leaving Time Stories. Yeah, those are short stories. I don't think I'm going to read either one of those. So Small Great Things. I have it. Haven't read it. I didn't know there was a novella to go with that one too. But look at all these books. Okay. Okay, so I have not read Small Great Things. I can't count that. So what I have read. Okay, Songs of the Humpback Whale. Nope. Harvesting the Heart. Nope. Picture Perfect. Nope. Mercy. Yes. The Pact. Yes. Keeping Faith. Yes. Plain Truth, yes. Salem Falls, no. Perfect Match, no. Second Glance, yes. My Sister's Keeper, yes. Vanishing Acts, yes. The 10th Circle, yes. 19 Minutes, yes, that's my favorite. Change of Heart, no. Handle with Care, no. House Rules, yes. Sing You Home, no. Lone Wolf, no. The Storyteller, no. Leaving Time, no. A Spark of Light, no. Book of Two Ways, no. Wish You Were Here, no. And then Broken Things, I don't think that's out yet. I haven't heard of Broken Things. What is that? Is that up here? And Mad Honey, what is that? Oh, she wrote it with someone else. Okay. I don't know what Broken Things is. I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Okay, so I read 10. Okay, I'm going to say 25, but I'm not going to count her newest one because I haven't even heard of it. So 25, I've read 10. That's actually not too bad. I think that's pretty good. I think I can call myself a fan, reading 10 books from one author, a very prolific author. So yeah, I think I could say I'm a Jodi fan. Okay, let's talk about Karen Slaughter. This one could be interesting as well because I love her so much. However, how many have I read? Okay, so this is interesting. So the Grant County series, it says that there's 7. However, book number 7, Genesis, if you look down on Will Trent, it's also number 3. So they kind of, it's a book that definitely overlaps. It's in both of those series. So I kind of keep it more in the Will Trent vein. So I only include Grant County to be 6. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's how my brain processes that. But I read the first 2. I read Blindsided and Kiss Cut. And then I haven't read any of the Will Trent. I did read Last Breath and I read The Good Daughter and Jack Reacher and Will Trent. I didn't know that's what that was. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so novels. Coptown, I have not read it, but I do own it. Pretty Girls is one of my favorite books of all time. I love that book so much. I have read pieces of her. I have not read False Witness, but I do have it right behind my head. And Girl Forgotten is coming out this year. It's coming out August, I think, something like that, July or August. one of those two. So I eventually will grab. So I've read 6, and she has, I mean, just Will Trent alone has 10, you guys. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to say 6, 16, 17. The Last Breath was a very short novella. So, 17, then 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 out of 22. I feel like I have a lot to go. I feel like I have a lot. I still feel like 6 books from one author is pretty darn good to know that you really like them, but I still have a lot to go. So another soft yes, maybe? Yeah. Okay, let's do J. Kristoff. He is also one of my favorites. And let's see what I've read from him. Okay. So Lotus War. I do have the first book in that, Storm Dancer. I have not read it though. Illuminate, I read all 3 of those, including the novella. Okay, Nevernight. I did read Nevernight. Loved it. I need to finish that. I own Lifelike on my Kindle, but I haven't read it yet. And I own Aurora Rising on my Kindle as well, and I have not read it yet. And then Empire the Vampire I did read. That was his vampire book that was so good. So I read 5, and he has, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. So I've read 9 of 16. I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. So yeah, not a fake fan for J. Kristoff. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do Frederick Bachmann, and then we will be done because I do love his books as well. Okay, Frederick Bachmann. Let's see. Okay, Beartown. Yes, I loved Beartown. That's one of my favorite books as well. Us Against You, I have read as well. The Winners I have pre-ordered already. That one comes out in September, I believe. Okay, novels. A Man Called Uwe. Yes. My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry. I did not read that one, but I do have it. Britt Marie Was Here. I do have it. Haven't read it yet. And Anxious People, I have read that. So I have read 4, and he has written 7, including the newer one coming out. So I guess of the ones that are available, 6, and I've read 4 of them. So that's good. That I am not a fake fan. That is good. And I do have The Winners pre-ordered already. I'm so excited for that one. Okay, guys. So am I a fake fan for some of them? Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the fantasy. I'm definitely a fake fan for Brandon Sanderson and John Gwynne, even though I consider them like some of my favorite fantasy writers, but I'm a fake fan. I have not read that much of their stuff compared to what they have out. It's ridiculous. So I need to work on that. I need to work on Karen Slaughter a little bit more as well. Just a little bit more often. I need to throw her books in there for sure. But a lot of them I am. And Christina Lauren too has a lot that I need to kind of play a little bit of catch up on that. But you know, a lot of them I really am legitimately a decent fan for. Like I've read a decent amount of their books, even though I haven't read all of them, that not a single one of these authors, I've read everything. I haven't reached that point yet to where I've read everything that they have read, that they have written, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I can make some progress. Okay. Let me know down below your thoughts about these authors, about the books. What books did I talk about that I haven't read yet that you're screaming at me that I need to read? Maybe I can pull some of those here soon. And again, a huge thanks to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. A lot of these authors have actually been featured on Book of the Month. So Colleen Hoover has one available for Book of the Month, and it's my favorite one, and that's it. It Ends With Us. That is my favorite Colleen book. It is available on Book of the Month. So if you want to use that one for your $9.99 for your first book, that would be a fantastic one. A lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid as well. Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, Malibu Rising. All of those are available on Book of the Month as well. All those were 5 stars for me. Riley Sager, all his books are available on Book of the Month as well. I think the only one that is sold out is Survive the Night, which is his last year release, but all his other ones are available. Home Before Dark is my favorite. Loved that book so much, but those are all available on there as well. Christina Lauren also had one available on Book of the Month, which is super awesome. The Soulmate Equation was available on Book of the Month too, so that's there. So some of these authors you can get through Book of the Month, which is great. And when they pop up for me, when Book of the Month comes out and has their announcements, it's like so exciting because I can get some of my favorite authors for a cheaper deal because the books are discounted from the regular normal release price. So like literally can't lose here. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please let me know your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.